Hello. Today, I'll be continuing the story for the Afterschool hero and the Fantastic Boyfriends. Where we last left off, the gang, that is the hero as well as the protagonist inside the hero, as some sort of ghost, or mind follower thing. I don't know how to describe it. And as well as Orgus and Sol and Necros and Bacchus have just finished up their dealings in Fire Dragon Mountain, dealing with Fafnir. By rending their father from Fafnir, they are able to get Fafnir's rage under control. So, with that summarized, they are now going to continue their journey, probably to, what's it called? They're probably going to go invest and ask their questions now of where exactly the Dark Lord is now. So for today's playthrough, I'm just going to be covering part 3. Episode 3 is actually quite long though, at least in terms of how it's divided. There are 4 parts. I don't know how long that amounts to in terms of time, but I've already committed to doing this one session just for this one part, so hopefully it will be somewhat substantial. So usually these straight playthroughs I cover over 4 days in a row, but because of the slightly different structure of this, the number of parts, I'm finishing up tomorrow with episode 4 and 5 and the epilogue, which should amount to 5 parts total. Which is a bit of a relief. Not searching out for so many days is pretty good for me. Alright, we are beginning the tours. Ugh. Where am I? Horace finds himself in a strange, darkly glittering space that appears to extend infinitely around him. I must be very far from Tokyo. I don't... My eye! Looking uneasy, Horace clutches his left eye for a moment before lifting his eye patch and inspecting his surroundings anew. I can see this place? This is the first time my left eye, my moon eye, has seen light since the day I battled my uncle. In the great deserts of his homeworld, Aru, it was believed that the sun was Horace's right eye, and the moon his left. However, during his final showdown with his uncle Seth, in which they fought for the right to represent the will of their world, Horace lost his left eye. Yet he did not lose the battle. Horace's victory had been forcibly ensured by the relatives who came to aid. Nay, outright intervened. The weight of his father's coffin on his shoulders was nothing compared to the weight of his family's expectations. That was how Horace became the world representative of Aru, with a sight in only one eye, and so it had remained. Until now. What is the meaning of this? Who is behind this cruel joke? The loss of my left eye was proof of my triumph against my uncle. It showed that, despite my family's meddling, I had stood proud on that battlefield and proved myself worthy. Horace vents his frustration aloud, as he recalls why he had been summoned to Tokyo in the first place. This was meant to be a chance to fight his uncle again, this time without the intervention of another party, and show the world that he was indeed a true warrior. He still remembers it all in vivid detail. The time spent in his uncle's company. The many battles they fought in that blistering desert. Wherever I may be, I need to leave this place post-haste. I must return to Tokyo, where this battlefield upon which I will face my uncle Right, direct, Master Caddy. Ready for the salad? I don't think it's happening in this story. What's happening now? This light. A burst of brightness fills Horse's vision, and as it fades, a different scenery unfolds before him, perceived by his sun eye and moon eye both. A world scorched by the burning heat of the sun, whose gazes trained mercilessly on the ground below. Yet at night, under the cold gaze of the moon, a terrible chill pervades the desolate sands. The two faces of this place, equally cruel as they are, share a name. And that name is the Valinor Desert. Ooh, nap time. Let's see. Did we start off at Midgard? I guess so. Then we went to the Dragon's Nest. So we entered some sort of peninsula. Well, land bridge. From Midgard to the Bazaar to the Dragon's Nest to Valinor. Are we making a roundabout to the Desert of Sylvester? This arid region stretches from the western border of Midgard to the eastern edge of Valinor. Led by Sol, your party ventured out into this harsh terrain after leaving Fire Dragon Mountain. You endured many days and nights trekking its dunes, and you have now finally arrived at a desert oasis. Who should greet you there but a group of combat-adept warriors, Therians, or as they are known here, Lycans. Episode 3, Lycan Village, the Sage's Tower. Yield. I see you have been training, Sol. Sol and the Lycan warrior shake hands to enthusiastic applause from the surrounding crowd. Well, I'll be. Sol had that Lycan soundly beat, and they're kinda as agile as they come. I doubt there's a single knight in Valinor Guard who can fight that well without a sword in their hand. Impressive. I don't suppose this happened with a lot more elaboration in the original game. Apologies for the delay, my friends. I do not mean to keep you waiting. After greeting each Lycan in turn and spending some time exchanging information with the warriors, Sol returns to your party. No problem. That was quite a show you gave us, Sol. I must admit, I didn't know what to think when a fistfight broke out the moment we arrived. I can imagine. The first time I came here, I was rather shocked myself. However, it is merely a tradition among the Lycan people, serving as both a greeting and a show of strength. The church established relations with the Lycans in order to learn from their martial abilities and share our knowledge in turn. Even now, you will find young Lycans training in our halls as fellow monks. Interesting. Is something the matter, great hero? I've fallen for you all over again. Oh man, no mean face? Okay. Oh my. You can't not imagine how happy these words make me feel. Thank you, my great hero. Who says thank you to saying that? I will continue to train hard so that I might be worthy of serving as your protector. So, Sol, where is the Sage's Tower you mentioned anyway? I suppose it was constructed by the Sylvester you church types put so much stock in. Ah, yes. The legendary sage said to have summoned the first hero, and established the art of summoning in Midgard. As the humble shaman myself, I must confess, his story interests me greatly. You are correct, Sir Orgus. What's more, I've heard that Sage Sylvester left behind many records in his tower. It is in these that I hope to find the information we seek. Now that I think about it, they never did ask Fafnir for help of where the Dark Lord was. That was the entire point they went there. However, I'm afraid we've already hit a little snag on that count. Well, whatever. I mean, even if they didn't find information, the next natural course would just be to continue their adventure. I have just now found out from the Lycans here that the tower has recently disappeared from the desert. This has caused waves within the local Lycan community because the Sage's Tower is a powerful symbol to their people. Not to mention the fact that an entire tower vanishing without a trace is unheard of.
What do you mean disappeared? Towers don't just wink out of existence.
Perhaps, but the Sage's Tower is not just any construct. It exists in the sky above this desert, almost like a mirage. The Lycans see this tower, which watches over them from above as their protector. They pray to it on a daily basis. Or at least, they used to until it suddenly became hidden from their sight.
Sounds to me like something unusual is going on here. Something must have changed, and we ought to get to the bottom of it. We might even find a clue to our own mystery along the way. What do you say we set up in this village for a while? We can do quests to line our pocket and gather information on the side. I'm all for it. How about you, Soul? Ada?
To be honest, that's been my intention since I first heard about the Lycan's plight. So long as the Great Hero is in agreement. Why not? I want to see what the Lycan's village is like.
That settles it then. First things first, we need to find somewhere to stay and arrange to take on a few quests. We'll need to patch up our equipment too. Mine's looking a bit worse for wear after our trip through the desert. Agreed. I hope they've got a decent blacksmith out here. Actually, why don't you and I take care of the preliminary arrangements, Bacchus? Fine by me. It's no more than we can handle. Thank you, Bacchus. That's what I thought as well.
Arcus must be worried about that Necros guy showing up again. Is he planning on monitoring Bacchus' other side all by himself? In that case, I shall show the Great Hero around the village. What do you like that, my hero? Oh! Heck yeah! Give me the tour, Soul! Whoa! This place is packed. It's like a mini Grand Bazaar. Quite right, Great Hero. That's because its location makes it the perfect stopover point on a journey across the Mid-Nor Highway. Oh, and it's been seeing an influx of travelers from foreign lands. Speaking of which, there's one traveler who has become the talk of the village of late. Apparently, the Lycan people know him as the second coming of their strongest warrior of legend. Sweet! There's the legendary warrior walking around here. Indeed, according to the old stories told by Lycans, not only is he a warrior of the tremendous skill, but his claws are powerful enough to scratch the moon to ribbons, and his blood is deadly enough to turn sunlight into darkness. That's awesome! He sounds like a god or something! Well, word is, he's staying somewhere in this village. We might even bump into him during our stay here. The Lycans told me they are desperate for him to remain, though. The warrior himself seems eager to depart. Oh, Tati.
How many times do I have to tell you? I can't stay here! I need to get back to my world and get ready for a concert! It's been way too long since I heard Gabriel's voice. I'm getting the Charles. The point is, I've got to get back to Shibyo, stat! If I miss Gabriel's concert, I'll never forgive myself!
Just now? That voice sounded oddly familiar. Is something the matter, Great Hero? Huh? What do you mean? Oh, my apologies. You merely seemed deep in thought. By the by, great hero, I hope you do not mind asking this, but are you eager to return to your world too? Simspot. I'm sure a lot, maybe not a lot of us, but a number of us, maybe like Hati with a bit of an obsession. Me? Not really. I mean, sure, this place can be dangerous, but thank you, game. At least it's exciting. I'm happy to hang around it for a bit. Oh, truly? Oh, that is wonderful to hear. I hope you don't mind keeping me safe for a while longer, Soul. Well, a little longer couldn't hurt, right? I don't even know how to get back yet. What I want to know is, how did I end up in this body? How did I end up in this world? And how is this place connected to Tokyo? But I might change my tune when this Demon King finally shows himself. Actually, I've been meaning to ask, what do we know about this guy? Our church is supposed to support the hero and help him take down this evil, right? So, you must know a bit about him. Can you fill me in? Of course, great hero. I'll share with you all I know. It is said that the Demon King will fall to earth like a shower of stars, bringing great calamity with him. Wielding the power of the Black Core, he will use the corpses of any and all creatures to wreak havoc upon the world. What's the Black Core? It is a stone, like obsidian, the color of darkness itself, absorber of light, meteorite, to call it by its proper name. It sleeps beneath the earth, waiting for an opportunity to possess a nearby corpse and set its plots in motions. Okay, ghost trick. But you see, the Black Core is equivalent to the Demon King's heart. When it manifests, entire nations fall and become his slaves, as has happened in the past. Those who perish only serve to swell his ranks, for he is the enemy of all living creatures. That is what I can tell you of the Demon King, my hero. He must be defeated at all costs. No sacrifice is too great. No price is too high when he is our enemy. Soul? Oh, my sincerest apologies, great hero. A slip of the tongue. I did not mean to scare you. You didn't. I just couldn't help but notice your personality did a 180. Anyway, you keep calling me the great hero and all that, but what's a kid like me supposed to do against an all-powerful Demon King? I can't stand up to an undead army. Oh, no. There's no need to worry. Only the hero can defeat the Demon King. To be more precise, that sword in your hands is the only weapon that can stand against him. What? This thing? I thought it was just a regular old sword. Oh no. See how it holds a light of its own? That blade was forged from the substance called white stone, also known as the White Star. Though in my homeland, we call it Submarino. Its brilliance is the light of light itself, making it the only substance capable of overriding the necromantic Black Core. This is how the custom of wearing jewelry decorated with small samples of unrefined whitestone ore came about. While they do not provide a tenth of protection granted by your blade, they are considered something of a lucky charm. Not only for supposedly safeguarding against the Demon King's powers, but also for improving the likability of the wearer. At least, that's what people believe. I have not confirmed the veracity of these claims myself. Wait. Whitestone. I see. Okay. So those rings are made from the same material as the sword. However, I do know that the Lycan people of this village wear whitestone jewelry as protective amulets. Similarly, the church teaches the whitestone gleam is unrivaled by all other powers of this world. Capable of surpassing time and space to link hearts and lives alike. Wait, so just by holding one of those will make me super attractive? Well, sign me up!
Forget about the Demon King. I want to hear more about this. I do not wish to disappoint you, but I'm afraid the white stone ores used in these pieces is really very small. As white stone's powers increase proportionally to its size, I'm not sure any piece of jewelry could really... that doesn't matter. This kind of thing comes down to your belief anyway. It's about confidence, you know? Oh, so, you wouldn't happen to have any white stone jewelry on you, would you? What? Me? Why do you ask? I cannot deny that I may have a small sample on me. However, I assure you that I was not influenced in the slightest by those beliefs. It is merely that my father is a white stone craftsman. So? Any reason you're strapping buckets all of a sudden? Now, while I did come across these particular pieces of my father's make during our journey, I certainly did not purchase them on any mere whim or flight of fancy. No, sir, not at all. You see, it is my wish that the one whom I swore to dedicate my life should accept them. Stumbling over his words in his rush to explain, Soul extracts what looks like a pair of rings from his pockets. Oh, okay. So that's why his skill is called Ring Bearer. It's not just one ring, he's... looks like he, what's it called? The hero's gonna be accepting multiple rings. What's all this about, Soul? I could hear your voice from the other side of the market. Sir Orgus, Bacchus, you have returned. Soul hastily stuffs the rings back in his pockets. Was I really being so loud? 1,000 apologies. So, how are the arrangements coming along? Oh, just fine. We checked out the quest board in the local tavern. And one of the quest covers was the blacksmith who agreed to fix up our equipment in addition to the reward he's offering. Well, isn't that something? What does he want us to do for him? Well, this blacksmith happens to be pretty famous in Valdor as a whole. He's asking for an escort to the place known to the Lycan people as a secret fire cavern. Apparently, there's a special fire right there that can be used to work even the toughest of ores. In fact, the smith said that he'll be able to use it to mend our broken armor. I see. And what sort of ore is he intending to work with? Ever heard of a substance called a white stone? Of course you have. Oh, and that cave has another name, by the way. Brigid's Brazier. Is it Brazier or Brazier? Only 20 minutes in for part 1. Oh, I suppose at this rate we should be done in about an hour and a half-ish. Brigand's Brazzers. Might as well, coming from this game. Oh wait, what am I doing? Yeah, part 2 of episode 3. Let us continue. I wonder what the appeal is of those other kinds of sites. Like, granted, of course, like, everyone has their favorite site, but what makes people pick one site over the other? Like, isn't just people doing the same thing no matter where you look? I don't really get it.
I mean, yeah, everyone has their preferences, but don't those sites offer, like, categories and, you know, filters and all that? What exactly does, like... Those kind of sites are supposed to be all-encompassing, generally, right? Like, what exactly does one provide over another? And some sites have more quantities of specific things over others. I guess so. All I know is Brazzers is like a Canadian site apparently. But other than that, I don't know what else it could be. It could have over, you know, the more popular sites. But I will take your expert advice, obviously, from a pro like you or Irby.
Well, glad I hired you a lot. Didn't expect the great hero to be a part of my escort, though.
Geno, the blacksmith who hired you, chortles hardly to himself. You don't either? I see.
My apologies, Geno. If only I had been working in order, I would have gladly fought for you. As things stands, I am utterly worthless. I'm afraid I will be no use to you whatsoever. Perhaps things would have been different had I trained more. Oh, why must I be so pathetic?
So unskilled. Glad to see Golden Bursty's the same as always.
Quit your yapping, Golden Bursty. I'm not blaming you. Like I said before, it's my job to fix broken things. That's what blacksmiths do, see? So if something's up with you, I'll fix it. Besides, I like your enthusiasm. Those muscles don't hurt to look at either. I've already got the whitestone we need for your core. I've just got to process it at Brigade's brazier.
What is my zodiac sign? What is my zodiac sign? I forgot.
Alright. I should probably fill our bodyguards in on this too. They're looking a little lost. Listen up, folks. The main reason I need you to get to Brigade's brazier is to fix up my friend Gullenbursty here. He wasn't born from people like most, but from a fort. He's a weapon, see? Yeah, I was pretty surprised when I heard that too. But it's true. Confirmed it myself. He's got the mark of an ancient dwarven blacksmith on him. He must have been forged centuries ago. Millennia even. Of course, I can just leave him. My pride as a blacksmith was on the line. So, I gave him a thorough look-see and figured out his core was chipped. Something about it seemed familiar too. Didn't take me long to figure out it was whitestone it reminded me of, and I got my hands on some. Only, my forge doesn't burn hot enough to process raw whitestone, so that left me in a bit of a pickle. That's when I decided it was time to make a trip to this sacred fire cavern and put out that quest you folks still kindly taken on.
Yes, Guardian of the Cavern. We, that is to say, my companions and I, are aware that this is a secret site to the Lycan people. I also happen to know that part of the reason for its sanctity is that many of your ancestors were interred here. Upon my honor as a monk, I shall not permit any of the remains to be disturbed. So I ask you, will you allow us to use the flames? Oh, you will. Thank you for placing your trust in me, Guardians. I am beyond grateful. Your confidence makes me truly proud to have trained alongside your people. Just a quick question, which avatar do you like the most? The one you pick, and why did you pick the avatar? Just a question. Well, it should be pretty evident from all the previous videos I did. I picked the protagonist's fifth skin. My apologies for the wait, my friends. We have been granted the permission we need. Let us proceed. That is the chubby one, and it's pretty obvious why. You enter Brigade's brazier. As you watch, Geno forges a hunk of whitish ore that looks like it could be a meteorite into the shape of a heart. When he retrieves it from the fire grate, it radiates a glowing warmth and seems to pulse like a real heart. Geno proceeds to insert it into a cavity inside Golden Bursty's shell.
That should do it. How are you feeling, Golden Brosty? I'm myself again? I can move just like I used to. Geno, how can I thank you? You just did. What are friends for, eh? Besides, it'd be a shame if those muscles of yours went to waste. Now, how about you give us a hand fixing up your bodyguard's armors?
Oh, whoa. He just made a heart out of a stone.
Wait, a stone heart?
Now, where have I heard that before? For you see, the black core is equivalent to the Demon King's heart. Boy, it looks like I'm being... If you had your own character in Tokyo Afterschool Summoners, how would they be like... What, my own character? Not sure what that means. Huh? But then... Yeah, I was actually thinking that. It seems like, even though it's white stone, it seems more like the black core from the Dark King. Maybe they're one and the same. Oh, looks like I'm thinking that here. What if they amount to the same thing? Oh, great hero. Is something wrong? You have that faraway look in your eyes. Again. Ah!
Anyone else sense disturbance at the mouth of the cavern? Or just me?
But yeah, no, Housamo provides already the kind of character traits that I like within the characters, so not sure what else I could ask for.
Wait, I can hear something. A commotion? They're coming this way! They? Who's they?
As if an answer to your question, like in Guardians of the Cavern rush inside all at once, and snapping at their heels, you see... Great hero, my Lycan friends! Everyone get behind me, now! Thanks, Soul. That was a close one. Well, I can't hide behind you forever. Time to show you what I can do.
Yeah? Yateharu? That sword looks oddly familiar, but there's no time to dwell on that right now. Geno, you're in harm's way. Please step back.
I completely forgot how Golden Brosty sounds.
For upon the name of my overlord, Freator, I shall fight this battle and keep you safe.
My word, these are undead Lycans. How can this be? Oh, no, that ended quickly. Maybe it's just, we'll have a post-battle scene too. I wonder if Whitestone is the same thing as what's it called? Dark matter. I believe that's the thing that makes up the walls of Tokyo, as well as what's it called? Sacred artifacts.
Well, I don't think they're getting up again. These weren't just any undead monsters. They look like they were ancient Lycans, brought back to life.
Oh, I thought they were brainwashed, never mind.
But that would mean... No. No, it can't be.
Soul, where are you going? Hey, wake up! Looks like their graveyard is risen. Soul suddenly sprints from your midst to gather you and your companions falling outside the cavern.
What the? When did that get there?
And what the heck is it?
No way. That?
What the fuck? The Tower of Babel somehow moved here. Oh, right. This is the disappearing towels. Tower. It's the same thing. White as chalk. So this is Whitestone. But we already know it exists in our world, so maybe it is also the same material as, you know, dark matter. Before you looms an imposing tower, white as chalk. It radiates an unearthly light, as if having risen from the depths of hell, like a phantasm pillar in the sky that stands tall enough to split the heavens in two. That was rather... Okay, I guess that's it then. Well, we're making good time. So we're not finishing too early, I think. 40 minutes for the first two parts. Sounds about right. Alright, episode 3, part 3. Who do you think is getting skill evos for the autumn campaign? The fashionista units. The banner is being re-released even if the proper event isn't, so I would say might as well give them evos too. Some of them could use one, especially Fashion Sasagwa. But what was the other banner on again? It was on for the sales. I believe everyone who needed an evo there already got one, so that's probably not gonna happen then. Yeah, no. Other than the fashionista units, I can't really think of who else could get it, unless they decide to give the Unfurl the Sails units another evo. They could also give the regulars for the fashionista units evos. I know Suzuka already has one, so probably not her, but Ashley also has one. But what's it called? Amatsumara definitely needs one for his regular still. He could use one for his variant as well. Fashion needs to walk on, does not need an evo, and his base form already got an evo. That is quite good. And oh yeah, Fashionista Zabania definitely needs one, like 100%. Once, in the ages of legend, countless heroes such as Odin, Thor, and Freyr lit up the heavens like so many stars. In canon, Dagon explains the Tower of Babel exists in multiple worlds and is a covered pillar arch. Oh yeah, that's right, they did do that. So it's not really a, well, I think they described it more as a bridge, but I guess that's the same thing. In this era, it was a role of one who served these heroes, so it's self-consistent with that, but I'm kind of surprised I don't know why I stopped halfway through this. In this era, it was the role of one who served these heroes, a certain sibling, to keep the sun and moon in motion. I don't know why we didn't start off near the tower, but I guess beside the king's castle is as good a place as any. As long as the tower exists somewhere in the world. This sibling worked very hard to maintain the world's order. So it was upheld for an age or two. However, all epochs must come to an end. All legends must fade to myth. The great battle that heralded the end of the world came to pass. One by one, Odin and his warriors fell from the stage. And so too did the sibling of the sun and moon, having been devoured by a monster. Yet this sibling left behind a fragment. Soul, child of the sun. So soul obviously is in relation to the term solar, as in relation to sun or star. Long after this tragedy had faded into history, a human child was given this very name by his parents. This boy's life was to be drastically altered by a monster attack on his homeland. For, of all his family and friends, he alone survived the attack. My bad for switching, picking the wrong thumbnails for parts 1 and 2. Should have switched them, but I don't have foresight. Found by a skilled individual who later became his teacher, this soul went on to become a monk of the church. There he trained in the arts of pugilism and thaumaturgy, and learned that monsters, while evil, were mere puppets of the true enemy, the Demon King. What's more, the church gave him a duty. Soul would be the one to aid and protect the great hero, and someday give his life for him. There is nothing Soul would not do for this hero, this legend of Midgard, who is destined to save every last living creature in this world. And so, in order to fulfill his new purpose, he trained with all his might. However, he could not fool himself into believing that he was driven by anything so noble as devotion. No, this was to be his atonement. It was his way of escaping the crippling guilt that plagued him still. He wanted to clear his conscience for having fled the village, for having turned his back on his family and friends, in order to escape that terrible fate. Bit of survivor's guilt there. Only he had fled, and only he had survived. His conscience forever hounded him with this fact. Today, during his morning prayers, Soul pleads for forgiveness, as he always does. Let his terrible, unsightly self be forgiven, he begs. Isn't it enough that he still hears the screams of his family in his nightmares, drowned out by the slurping and gurgling of the beasts who devoured them? When he received word of the great hero's resurgence, Soul was all too ready to depart. At long last, he would be able to leave his guilt and this world behind him. In death, he would be forgiven. After the battle, the undead Lycans were returned to their graves, from where they did not attempt to leave again. I pray that these ancestors of my Lycan friends will never again be disturbed from their eternal sleep. Put to rest by the great hero's blade, let them slumber peacefully in their earthen beds once more. At Soul's suggestion, you and your companions decided to honor the twice fallen with a brief funeral. Soul, being familiar with Lycan customs, falls to one knee beside the freshly dug graves and offers up a prayer for each warrior in turn. Let me help you. Take it easy there, Golden Bursty. You're basically recovering from heart surgery. Right. We can take care of this burial, so perhaps you would be so kind as to repair our equipment in the meantime. Oh, yeah. I'd better get on that. To the forge, Golden Bursty. Very cool Golden Bursty relevance to this story.
That was a lot of work. I think that's the last one. Do you see any more, Bacchus? No, I think that's done it. Nice work, Ara. Bacchus ruffles your hair affectionately, like a doting uncle. Is this what it's like to be a father? Doesn't feel too bad, having youngster under your wing. I wish I had a cool dad like you. I think he means to say daddy in this case. You say that, but I could adopt you if you were so inclined. I've been alone for a long time, without any memories to anchor me. After all that, it'd be nice to think I've got something concrete linking me to you. But I don't want an answer now. Think it over properly, will you, Ada? Thank you for your assistance, great hero. And you as well, Sir Orgus. Not you, Bacchus. Get out of here. I will apologize for holding us up with my selfish request. It just so happens that I could not leave this place in good conscience without returning these people to their graves. Soul has a faraway look in his eyes, as if he is ruminating on some past regret. You okay, Soul? Actually, we probably shouldn't bring it up. Your kindness is inspiring. Kindness? I would not go that far. I am merely a selfish, greedy man. Great hero, do you recall the light that was emanating from the Sage's Tower earlier? How could I forget? It was super creepy. Indeed. That light was responsible for raising the ancient Lycans interred here as undead creatures. In other words, we witnessed the very power that legend tells us the Demon King is said to possess. I can only assume that he has risen once more, and that the Sage's Tower has fallen into his hands. Uh-oh. And if that blade of yours is the only relic that can defeat him, I want you to use it without fear, safe in the knowledge that I will give my very life to protect you if I must. What's gotten into you, Soul? There's no way I'm letting you do that. I'm not worthy of your concern, great hero. Let me make that plain now. Soul pauses for a moment, brows knitted together. When he speaks again, his voice sounds strained, as if he is having to force out the words. I am the one who turned his back on his family, friends, homeland, when monsters attacked. I am a worthless coward. What? So, you... Yes. My cowardness brought me my survival, and ever since that day I have devoted myself to training, burying my ineptitude beneath a veneer of strength. So you see, I am neither kind, nor brave, nor worthy of your consideration. That's all. Nighttime already, is it? And what a fascinating tale to wake up to. So you are a fraud, are you, Soul? Bacchus, no. There's something different about you. It's like you're... Macros. Very good, very good. I must say, I like it when you shout my name out. Who? What is the meaning of this? What's going on? I see. So this Necros exists within Bacchus. This is a lot to take in. I must admit, I find it difficult to believe. Really? You do you? How amusing. And here I thought we were kindred spirits. Kindred spirits? How? Must I remind you of your own words? You spoke of hiding your true self, implying that there were two of you. Soul the coward, and Soul who plays the part of the proper monk. How is that any different from my own circumstances? Do enlighten me. Necros, I am one man, one person. I may possess two faces, but they are simply two sides of who I am.
Soul appeals to the man who looks very much like Bacchus, and yet whose voice and expressions are so unlike his. While I may put on an act, that is a conscious choice. My true nature is that of a gutless coward. I merely choose to cover it up.
Oh, Soul. You wound me.
Huh.
Let us be the same, Soul. Is that so terrible? We cannot prove which of ourselves is the real us. In that sense, we are the same, whether you choose to admit it or not. It is not us, but those who observe us who decide which our side is true, and which is false. And we have no control over how others perceive us. Is that so? After all, you yourself are imposing upon me your belief that only one of my faces can be true.
Well,
I, for one, will never be so callous as to brand your two sides as mere products of your attempted escapism. There are two personalities within you, Soul, and both of them are your true nature. I pray you will teach each of them, treat each of them with the respect they deserve, even if only you allow one of them to rise to the surface.
We seem to have stumbled into a very philosophical discussion, Necros. I apologize for any insult I have caused you. I hope you can forgive my impertinence.
Such a serious lad. Though I accept your apology, Soul, consider both your faces forgiven. Whatever role this world may intend for me, my will is mine alone. Even if I cannot change the fate laid out for me, I can at least ascribe it my own meaning. That is a truly wonderful thing. I hope you will aspire to it yourself. Whatever role you have been given, you alone can find meaning in it. Remember that.
Hey, Soul. Yes, great hero. I guess our previous conversation got a bit derailed, but just so you know. Personally, I think you're everything a monk should be. That's what's so cool about you, Soul. But I... Hold on, let me finish. I get that you're not perfect. You can be real clumsy, and you're a bit self-centered. But that's just... you. You've got a bunch of different sides, not just two. And you know what? I like them all just the same. I love you for everything you are. I don't know what to say. Thank you, great hero. I think... Suddenly, that same eerie glow that emanated from the tower envelops the desert anew, soft and haunting as the moonlight of the underworld.
It's that light again. There. Look!
The Sage's tower has reappeared in the sky above the desert, again casting its faint, misty glow far across the sands.
No, not again! I can hear voices inside my head. I can't shut them out.
Voices resonate in the confines of Horus's mind, making the weight of the sacred artifact on his back feel almost crushingly heavy. Its weight is the weight of his parents' expectations. It is the embodiment of his regrets for failing to meet those expectations, for failing to choose the dream he was supposed to have realized in their stead. The pressure mounts inside him, until all he can think of is his duty to take their place. He is meant to rule.
My eye. This is all because of my cursed left eye. If only it had remained unseen, none of this would be happening to me.
His moon eye ought to have been bestowed upon him by his father, who became king of the underworld upon his death. Now he feels his father's eye upon him, commanding him to avenge his death. commanding him to live up to his parents' expectations and to uphold the legacy of Aru as its world representative. Stop! Enough! No more! Please, I cannot. As one half of him fervently desires to be a good son and act in accordance with his family's wishes, the other half desperately seeks to rebel, and Horace feels as if he is being torn in two. You're tearing me apart, Lisa. Was he imagining things, or was his vision flickering? Bile rises in his throat as he sways on his feet. Stop! I am not my father. I am... Sealed within Horace's sacred artifact, the Jed Pillar is the coffin of his father. Its rule allows him to unleash memories of the underworld in order to raise the dead and command them to do his bidding. Silence! I will listen to your voices no more. I need no power but my own. In truth, Horace has continued to do what his parents expect of him. He has played his role faithfully all this time. Now is no different. Without even meaning to, his hands find the latches on the coffin, and he opens it. As his consciousness slips away from him, Horace catches a glimpse of the world as he remembers it from the days he spent with his uncle. Only now it is being ravaged by a horde of living corpses. Listen, all warriors. We will know not what has transpired in the Sage's Tower. However, we cannot allow these fiends to approach our village. We must drive them off, here and now. Yes, there are many, but we have nothing to fear. For ours is bolstered by the second coming of our legendary warrior, Hati. Not this again. How many times do I have to tell you? I just want to go home to Gabriel's bosom. Oh, why me? I don't even know what's going on here. You enter the desert village. My apologies for keeping you waiting, great hero, and you, Necros. We have confirmed that situation. Several young Lycan warriors have already set out to intercept the undead monsters. Oh no. We need to act now before it's too late. Only your sword can defeat those creatures, Ada. Lycans don't stand a chance on their own. Are you ready? We should leave at once. Just one sec. Soul? What are you wearing? The village chieftain presented me with this armor when I went to see him just now. It is a treasure of the Lycan people, and contains the faith of their greatest ancestors. The chieftain had thanked Soul for the respect he had shown the ancient Lycans in the cavern, and entrusted him with the recovery of the impetuous youths who had so rashly set out to protect the village. Soul. Please do not look so grim, great hero. It will be alright. To think I would find myself in this situation again. I've lived to be set by monsters, the futures of others resting on me. Soul places a hand over his heart, thinking. He knows that deep down, he is still the cowardly child who disgraced himself that day. That is why he had believed his identity as a monk to be a mere facade. Yet now he finds himself questioning this. What if both the cowardly child and the righteous monk were equally his true selves? Was that why he was able to face the situation, unflinching? Was it because his inner child had learned to be brave? Was the shadow of his younger self prepared at last to stand and fight, ignoring the temptation to flee? For a moment, he could have sworn he felt a smaller version of his large hand link fingers with his own, as if someone was right there beside him, prepared to follow him into battle. Come, great hero! Sir Orgus, Necros, we must go! Draped in the legendary armor of the Lycan people, Soul is the first to charge into the fray. I'm kind of surprised that didn't end off with a battle. Or did we already have a battle? I can't remember. But we are now finishing up with part 4, aka the last part of episode 3. Green has all the good butt. Let's see. We've got Ryota. We've got Soul. We've got Fudufumi. I'm inclined to agree with you. Unfortunately, it doesn't have the best stats in the game, which belongs to you.
Too bad, so sad. That's one was an illusion. I'm the real deal, suckers. I didn't sign up for this fight, but a second I'm gonna finish it.
That was a lot of slash noises when he's spell range.
We're so fortunate to have you with us, Mighty Hachi. But watch out, the enemy has summoned reinforcements. Sure, there sure are a lot of these things. They just keep coming. At this rate, I'm never gonna... Huh? Ah! Stand back, everyone! Gale, I summon thee! Sweep from the void and unseat our enemies. May Lord Sylvester's protection be upon us!
Soul leads a charge across the battlefield from the vanguard, carrying those toward the sea of monsters like a hurricane. His body is thrumming with adrenaline, and he feels as if he has limitless energy. No limit for you, though, Soul. The Lycan pelt he wears gives him the appearance of a man swallowed by a beast. In the twisted sense, his long-held wish had been granted. He has met the same fate as his friend and family at last. He laughs inwardly at the irony. Oh, I see. Like, the rest was, his family and friends were devoured by beasts, I guess. Everyone really wants it, huh? Now he only has one desire left, to wish of Soul the monk who has trained so hard for so long. As he thinks this, Soul feels a deep-seated sense of rightness as both his selves and his desires come together, leading him forward.
Behind me, everyone! We will push through! Oh wow, Soul, you're on fire! But, hey, so am I! Planting your feet to try to stop your legs from shaking up, you adjust your grip on your sword. Gah! Hit me. Am I seeing things, or was that... Across the battlefield, Hati is momentarily struck dumb as someone very reminiscent of a person he once met in Tokyo streaks past him, sword raised. Okay, so Irby speculated yesterday that it must be like being, being one of the souls inside the protagonist. And this pretty much confirms it, with Hati sensing something inside the hero that is the protagonist. So it's a bit of a weird thing in this case, that we're the ones actually being seen from the outside now. From the inside out? I guess that's the term. With Soul in the lead and your companions running alongside you, you proceed toward the tower, scattering the remains of the undead in your wake. Didn't I say that the tower was like floating into clouds? Or maybe that's just the upper part. You burst into the tower and race up the steps like your lives depend on it. When you reach the top, what's going on? You are not sure where you are. What is this place? Wait, someone's here. Is he the one making this tower light up? No way. Could he be the Demon King? He looks like he's in pain, though. What's wrong with him? Wait, what is that? Horus's moon eye is aglow, and the sacred artifact on his back is radiating a dark light. Dark thoughts spill from the coffin and take shape, waking the dead in droves. Are you seeing this? He's summoning the dead! He must be the Demon King! Stand back, great hero! Gale, I summon thee! Soul! Worry not, great hero! I shall protect you! Soul closes his hands around his staff in prayer, conjuring a gale that stops the undead in their tracks. Good work, Soul! Take this, you fiend! What is this? I cannot pass. Suddenly, Horus's right eye, his sun eye, flares the color of dawn. Then, just as suddenly, a barrier of light springs up in your path, bathing the walls of a tower in a sunset glow and blocking your way. It is a barrier capable of forcing living beings who come into contact with it to abandon their intentions. My word, this is the legendary thaumaturgy used by the sage Sylvester himself. Soul Wall! It enforces complete obedience upon living things, prevent all contact and interference with the caster. Wait, so like, a magic barrier? We need to take this down before we can deal damage to the boss. That kind of thing? But how's this possible? Unless you use me in battle. Who is this being that uses both necromantic arts and the sage's thaumaturgy? All throughout this exchange, light continuously passes from the sun eye to the moon eye, right to left, causing Horus to howl in pain with each transition. So, what are we gonna do, Soul? First of all, I want you to take this, great hero. Soul takes a pair of rings out of his pocket and hands you one. This is a ring of Silmaril, Whitestone, crafted by my father. Whitestone's properties are that it resonates with life and allows for the seamless communication of intentions. My master taught me that the attempt to connect with someone, to understand someone, is the strongest force in the world. I do not know whether this individual we face is truly the Demon King, yet I can see that he is suffering.
The matching rings on your fingers begin to shine as one. Come, let us save him from this torment. But goodbye, Salman. Can't we use these sins instead? Horse's right eye flares bright, and the berry prevents you from taking a single step closer. At the same time, with every flash of his left eye, more undead begin to stir.
We need to do something about his eyes, or I'll have an infinite army of undead.
Great hero, will you take my hand? Your matching rings clink softly as you entwine fingers to his soles, whereupon he begins to perform the thaumaturgical rite. White god of all-reaching power, I beg you, bless us with your light. Penetra! You've got this, soul!
That voice! Is that you? Uncle?
Boris lifts his head and meets your eyes. Then as your gaze locks, a thrill of understanding passes between you. Not an instant later, the sunlight barrier shatters, unable to withstand the bright glow emanating from the twin rings you and Soul share.
No. The voices are back. Make them stop. Make them...
Okay. Hold on a sec. Are we gonna split them again? You have been concentrating so hard on your connection with Soul that for a moment you were at a loss, but unable to act.
That alone wasn't enough. We must do something about that dark light.
Dark light.
No problem. Leave that to me, Moonshine Chaser!
Hachi charges out from behind you, his claws raking through the light cast by Horse's moon eye. Who are you?
Who are you?
Wait, what? Who are you? Oh my, I think this must be the legendary warrior of the Lycan people I've heard so much about.
No idea what you're talking about. I'm just here to help out your puny friend there.
Who are you calling puny?
There it is, that look in your eyes. I knew it. Something about you reminds me of someone I met back in Tokyo. My number 2, you see. Because he'll never amount to anything next to Gabriel-chan. And let me tell you, if I just went home without helping you out, Maria would not be happy. Anyway, wherever you are, how about you put that shiny sword of yours to use and finally finish this already? Right. Thanks for the help, stranger. Ready or not, here I come! Glinting in the semi-darkness, your sword arcs through the air, swinging straight towards Horace's left eye. Excellent! You've done it, Ada! Am I really pulling out his eye? Straight Kill Bill moment. Your blade hits the black core embedded in his flesh and sends it spitting out of its socket. Oh my god. It did. And the voices are gone. Oh, but where am I? What am I doing here? I don't... It would appear he has regained control of himself. This is good. We have to question them, Sorrel. Oh, wait. What is that? The dark stone that laddered to the floor at Horace's feet is transforming before your very eyes. I feel very strange. Like terror is clawing at my insides. Like my very lifeblood is being drained. It can't be. But who else has this power? Who else but the Demon King? Not yet. The Demon King is not here yet. That is merely a lump of concentrated power. It will only fulfill its purpose when given the proper vessel. This fool who was supposed to be the king of the underworld, he should possess the power to raise the dead. It would appear he is not very compatible with this world. A pity. It must be those eyes of his, sun and moon, like white stone and black core, are polar opposites, determined to repel one another. That is why he was suffering so much. It's all to do with the rules and beliefs of this world. I'm not sure if that's entirely true, since according to us, we're claiming that they're the same thing. But maybe it's really just a belief of choosing which is white stone and which is black, whatever it's called, core. Now then, now that his powers have been freed, they will seek a new home. Necros? Yes, they require a new vessel possessed of a compatible will. And to think that I, who has once suffered so much, should think of accepting. Yet I cannot deny that is my wish, for I cannot possibly ignore the expectations of my creator. Besides, surely your journey cannot truly end without the Demon King manifesting. Necros, you're starting to freak me out a bit. Whoa, no way. Necros and Bacchus just split. What? Seeing a copy of himself appear beside him, Bacchus begins feeling his own body, as if to make sure it's still there. I'm still here, but then that must be... Powers to me! Return to your original vessel! It doesn't matter if it's true or not if the world believes it, yeah. That seems to be the consistent thing in the Housamo universe. Holy shit. My fate is to bring about the end to all living things, to revive merriment from death itself. I am destined to be eternal, the embodiment of corruption. Just as life is the journey and death is the return, all things, human and celestial, must one day come to an end. Yes, it is I! Fear me, for I am the Demon King, the true no-life king. Oh boy.
Okay, that ends episode 3, which is the only thing I'll be covering today, but it was quite long, as you saw. I kind of want to pull one more time. Yippee! 5-star Necros, Personal Soul. Okay, disappointment. I don't know what I expected. Anyway, thank you for joining me today. It was a lot more consistent as usual than the usual story. I gotta say, I mean, it was all within one episode, so it would have to be consistent. But the transition between the previous episode and this one was kind of not covered at all in terms of the last thing we saw was Fafnir, chasing after Anvari, and we never got questions. And I don't even know how we ended up in the Lycan village. We just decided to keep on going the same direction, I guess. But other than that, it's not just leaving behind other plot points like what's called the Tower of Babel. It seems to have returned quite early on in the story at only episode 3, which is good, I think, because it's like the thing that's connecting it to the main world. And yeah, I don't know what Necros' deal is in terms of he said in a previous playthrough from yesterday that he was not the Dark King, or King of Darkness, or whatever he called it. But I guess he's referring to he wasn't complete as a King of Darkness without that black core. I guess he was just a container of some kind. I'm not entirely sure what the nature of this is, but maybe it's explained more in the F game, or maybe it's explained more later. Or according to RB, maybe it's there's a lot of content explained, things that aren't explained in the main story of this event inside the special quests. So if if any of you are watching this, I'm probably most likely not be covering any of the special quests. In which case, I would strongly recommend you check them out yourself to complete the story at that point. No, we're not done yet. So tomorrow I'll be finishing up with episodes 4, 5, and the epilogue. Yeah, there's only 5 episodes on this. But, the story's brisk, I like it, and it's not meandering just to give, each character X amount of time. But at the same time, it is giving each character attention. Like, obviously, this was the Soul episode, where last time it was the Orgus episode, and now we have 2 rings from either of them. We're probably going to receive another ring from Necros in the last few episodes. We'll just have to see. Okay, that is pretty much all I have to say. So, again, thank you for joining me, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Goodbye.